Hi, this is John from FlatCatGear. When you're going out backpacking, particularly if you're cooking, you're going to need a pot. And traditionally, for a long time, people have been using, metal pots like this titanium pan from Eridu. This is great for two people. For a single person, you can get by with a mug. Great for boiling water. You can do things, there are clever ways to do baking, steam baking, dry baking, cooking thick meals, using heat diffusers to expand that capability. On the other end of the spectrum, with the advent of jet boil, there's a lot of people using heat exchange pots, which are great. They're great, they're fast, they're pretty robust to the wind, pretty much limited to boiling water, maybe making thin soups. Now, another option that's been around and not heavily explored is using a pan, a fry pan. So I want to talk about that for a little bit. So most people will take a fry pan if they want to augment their cooking system. So if they're going to cook fish or they want to make pancakes or something like that, they bring a fry pan. This is one of the smaller ones. This is I think it's an MSR fry pan, about 7 inches in diameter. I found a lid that fits it, makes it a nice system. So the question is, what if you just brought a fry pan? Well, a frying pan is nice because it does a little bit more than what a regular pot can do. Of course, you can boil water in it. It's pretty easy. In fact, being the wide diameter is probably a little bit more efficient. But then you can do things like make pancakes, and you can cook fish. You can make rice in it. And the question came up is, could you use this for your everyday wear? Instead of bringing a pot, just bring a fry pan. So we're going to explore that a little bit today. What I'm doing is I'm going to make 3 meals. And from the title of my video, it's going to be using Spam. And that's why my video is Spam and a pan. So with a pan and Spam, what will we make for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? So what I'm looking at doing for making breakfast is scrambled eggs with Spam. And I've been wanting to experiment with this Ova Easy powdered eggs. We're going to try that. Then we're making bread. And the last thing we're going to do is make a Spam Musubi casserole. And the idea is, well, I got a can of Spam. It's probably worth 3 meals. So that'll be just about perfect. So let's get cooking. Okay, my series Spam in a Pan, I have this bacon flavored Spam. I'm using my MSR skillet. One of the things I've been using this stuff for years. This is Ova Easy egg crystals, and I usually use it when baking recipes call for eggs, but I've never made scrambled eggs out of it. So I want to see how well it works. So this takes for 3 eggs. This takes 6 tablespoons of egg crystals and 9 tablespoons of water. Looking pretty good, looks a little on the thick side. So I'm going to make an omelet, and if I'm lucky, I'm going to make a Japanese style omelet. And I've got cheese, green onions, and I've got my Spam. So let's take it outside and let's get started. For hardware this morning, all I'm using is a Covia spider and a baking plate. I got my pan. So I'd say that's not too bad for a first try. I give that a plus. Let's go and taste it. For lunch, I'm making a sandwich. So the Brits have a dish they call a bacon buddy. I'm going to make a Spam buddy. Cut a couple slices. And what I'm going to do is Spam tastes better when it's cooked. So I'm going to fry it up first. And here's one of the tricks I learned from cooking fish, because I also want a clean pan. Take some parchment paper, put it on your pan, and when I fry these up, it'll keep the pan clean. So let me go fry this up, and then I'll spread out the dough, and then we'll cook the bread. Okay, so this time I'm not using the diffuser. A little breezy, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm really frying this up. Now, you don't have to fry this up. It'll taste great just as it is. I just like a crunchy surface. So I'm going to, glutton for punishment, I'm going to cook this up. Got about 4 ounces of dough here. So I'm going to roll that out. And this is a yeast dough. Now, I'm a glutton for punishment. As you can see, toast my bread, toast my Spam, make yeast bread. But you can use Bisquick, and you don't have to, it wouldn't be British without HP sauce. Put a little HP sauce on that. The wind's kicked up a little bit, so I brought a windscreen out. I'm going to try without the diffuser. We're just going to get a light browning on it. Let's see how it's going. All I wanted was a little bit of browning. Yes, I got a little brown. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to steam it. Okay, so the water's all boiled off. I've crisped up both sides. We're done. Take it in, cut it, take a look at it. So for dinner, we're making a Musubi casserole. Musubi is a little dish that they make in Hawaii, which is like a sushi rice with Spam on top. But I wanted to make something easier for backpacking. So the first thing we're going to do is cook the rice. And I've got half a cup of rice here. And we're going to add a cup of water, go make it like normal. Put that in a container. Then we're going to pan fry the Spam, add some secret sauces to it, and assemble the whole thing. So let's go ahead and start with the rice, and then we'll come back for the Spam. So rice is pretty simple to make. You just need to bring it to a boil, and then when the level drops low, bring it to a simmer. Not too windy out, so I'm going to leave the windscreen off. There's my half cup of water. Let's bring it to a boil. So the water's been pretty much boiled down. So now what you do is you put the lid on it, cover it, and let it set for 30 minutes. Okay, the rice is done. Now we just need to crisp up. Spam has enough fat in it that you don't need any oil. So we want to get this crispy surfaces on all of this. You can cook it to whatever crispness you want. This looks pretty good to me. Some people like it a little crispier. That's okay. Turn the heat off. And now what is I got a mixture of it's half soy sauce, half mirin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back on and let it reduce a little bit. So I'll put the recipe in the link down below. I'm going to make this more like a sushi rice, so we need a little bit of salt. We need a pinch of sugar. And a bit of rice wine. And this is the furikake, common Japanese condiment. Sprinkle a little there. I don't like to eat food on camera, but that's really good. So in wrapping up this video, let's talk about food first. So the Spam omelet. Really, that was a review about using Ova Easy as just regular eggs. Like I said, I normally use them in baking and doing things like quiches, but making an omelet using Over Easy just to pour the eggs was an interesting experiment. Wanted to try it. How did it taste? It reminded me of having an omelet on an airplane. Had one recently. It's okay. It's probably terrific backpacking. Probably wouldn't want to have it for breakfast when you're at home. The Spam Buddy. Probably more work than it's worth. I mean, if I really wanted to do this, I definitely would fry up the Spam because that gives it a nice texture. And the HP sauce is terrific. But you might just bring some pita bread with you and just stuff it in that. Now, the last one, the Spam Musubi casserole, that was outstanding. I'd have that any day at home. Spam tends to be salty. You pan fry it, gets that crunchy, crispy flavor. But with some of the oriental flavors of the soy and the mirin and the rice, it was actually a terrific dish. So why this video? If you look at our mission statement, it's epic meals at awesome places. And what does that mean? That means that before we started all this, backpacking was kind of limited to people, heating up water, dehydrated food, some limited, cooking out in the field, not much. Then we started really pushing dry baking, making breads. We do quiches, hamburgers, pizzas. The idea is we like to develop gear to let you make what you want, where you want to eat it. So if you want a pizza and you're up at 12,000 feet on the John Muir Trail somewhere, we make gear to allow you to do that. So if you look at this video, we boiled, we steamed, we sauteed, we fried, and we dry baked. And those are some of the capabilities that we bring to the table. We give you hardware, like baking plates and doing the elevated pot, for doing some dry baking, and all kinds of other gear. To make some of these meals, occasionally you may want to bring a fry pan along with you. And this is the MSR Quick Skillet. This has an Evernew lid, and I have a FlatCat hat on this to keep some of the heat in. Total weight of this is 8.6 ounces. So it's a little bit on the heavy side, but it's simple in terms of components. So for a weekend backpacking trip where you really want to impress somebody and make some exotic meals, we might consider bringing this as your sole cook set. So come visit us at www.FlatCatGear.com.